by talking about cutting off hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hi, Ryan.
Is that your brother?
That's my cousin.
Is your cousin? Yeah, your cousin's just like.
What?
I looked back just when like you said that. Like that is.
Okay, let's start by. Okay,
Nuts.
nuts. Yum. Okay,
Hold
so
on, my
the
foot's
first punishment that we're gonna talk about is cutting off hands.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh.
what's the crime for? What would Ruffy need to do to get his hand cut off?
Rafi's gotta steal.
So
A bunch of theft.
a bunch of theft.
No, I think they use it for the first instance too.
Okay.
Any theft.
Okay.
So when did it start though?
It started in Iran.
Yeah.
Like back and it was it's for like theft and aggravated theft.
Mm-hmm.
So like when someone obviously get caught, they'll get charged with that, and what they'll do is that for punishment for you because you stole, right? They'll cut off your hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it won't cut off like a specific hand. It will always only cut off your right hand first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like and that's a big deal in a country like Iran because like in Islam,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your right hand is the cleanest, right? You will eat with your right
Like
hand.
the cleanest. It's considered a clean hand.
Yeah, so like you would eat with this hand, right? Where in your left hand you would use to like clean yourself from after using the bathroom, right?
Oh.
But what if you're left-handed dominant?
It's well,
It
that's
doesn't
the thing.
matter?
It's the like in Islam, right? The right hand is more preferred, right? So
So it's because it's clean. So they use that for like their eating and their writing and stuff like that. So they'll always cut off their right hand.
yeah,
And so because they always cut off the right hand, it forces the person who like stole to have to always use their unclean hand
unclean
for clean tasks.
yeah.
So it adds like a humiliation aspect to it as well.
And like if they're like a repeated offender, right? Then they won't cut off your other hand. They'll cut off one of your foots, too.
Yeah.
So that, and then not only you lost your hand, you can barely walk now. So.
Yikes. Okay. And this still exists today, or
Yeah, it still exists because I think like in their eyes, they think it's still an appropriate punishment because like I think they see it like in a way like because you stole with your hand, right? You use your hands to do something bad, right? So and what they think that yes they should continue to cut off the hand.
Yeah, and it's primarily in areas with like strict enforcement of Sharia law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine like the person that like cuts off the hand? What do you do with the hand? Do you just like keep it?
They probably burn it. Toss it.
Oh, you know what? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, like do they have like a storage room?
Do they
filled
have
with,
a
like,
collection
hands?
of-
Yeah, like different hands. Like this guy, he stole bread. This guy, he stole diapers.
Yeah.
Was diapers even
Like men
thing
diapers.
back then?
Men diapers.
Okay. We talk about the eye for an eye punishment,
Ooh.
or the
So
Qisas
it's also
punishment.
known as qisas.
Qisas punishment.
So it's used for those who inflict harm on others. So some of like the instances that it can be used for is like bodily injury, or like sometimes like if you like in theft that like would harm people. So you know like you're stealing this amount of money from someone, you owe it back, like the balancing the scales type of thing. But it's equal retaliation or retribution against the victims. So the victims have a choice to like say this person needs to have this done to them.
Oh,
so, like,
so the victim has a say.
yeah, the victim also has
according
a
to
say. Again, it's primarily in like Islamic societies. It's also based out of the Quran, is where like this idea of punishment came from. So, like, if I were to throw acid in your face in a fight and stuff, you could go to the courts and be like, I want the qisas punishment.
And if I don't want it?
There's also, like, there's blood money.
Oh.
So, like, you could ask for, like, financial compensation. Or, like, let's say I killed you, your family could be like, I want her sentenced to death.
Or money.
Or money, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, like, you have the choice of, like, if I throw acid in your face, you say her punishment is acid in her face.
Do you think it's fair or...
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Is this still happening today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you
I
think
think
it's fair? Do you think it's fair or...
Well, I feel like there's two different answers to that. I think it's a yes and a no, right? Because if you think of like being fair, right? Like you're basically showing them like what type of damage did you do to me, right? Like the acid in the face, right? That one, like, okay, they now will understand like what type of pain that they dealt to the victim, right? And a lot of people would say that, like, yeah, that makes sense, right? And everything. But the no part is the ethical part about it, right? It's like, is it really humane to, like, deal the same pain like that, right?
Is it more humane as opposed to sending the person to jail?
Yeah, exactly.
Just send the person to jail.
And
honestly.
even the money thing. Let's say, for example, the head of the family who brings money in gets killed. And then if the victim or the family's victim would just say, okay, I want them killed, but what about the money that he is bringing in the family?
Yeah,
Like,
so I
it
think
doesn't
that,
really-
like,
yeah.
because there is a choice. Like, you can either have the eye for an eye retribution,
Or the money.
the money
qisas or the
retribution,
diya.
or like the you know, want them executed.
Yeah.
I feel like you got onto with the ethics part, but I also feel like, again, it is also the balancing the scales, and it is a deterrent. You know, it's like knowing that I could commit a crime and potentially have the same act done against me
Yeah.
would make me more hesitant to do something to someone.
So do
Yeah.
you feel like it's justice or just a form of revenge?
I feel like it's more revenge.
It's more revenge
Yeah,
because you don't. What is it? Just because you're feeling that way, you don't tell the other person. What I can't.
I think it's revenge covered in justice.
Yeah.
Right?
It's veiled by
It's
it.
very
yeah.
veiled, yeah. Because, like, again, it seems fair, but is it?
It's not.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're just hurting the other person as well.
Yeah, like they could just be sentenced to jail.
Yeah.
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 Next one is being ripped apart by trees.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is an ancient Persian Empire torture execution method. So Sabrina, you go on and you commit adultery. You become a
Sabrina, how
traitor.
could you?
You're a thief. One of if it led to the point where the courts decided you were to be executed. One of the methods that they would use is, I believe it's called the bent tree execution. And so basically 2 trees sat near each other, and they're typically young trees because they're more elastic,
Yeah.
are bent inwards towards each other, and like they're tied down. You get tied between them by your hands and your feet.
So they can.
Yeah, so you're like posed in an X formation. And it's a public spectacle too. So like people watch
Oh, wow.
this happen.
Damn.
Yeah.
The ropes to the trees then get cut, and you like actually like
And just
you
fall
get ripped
apart.
apart.
Yeah,
And that's your execution.
Damn. But damn, that's insane. Like, you know, just all your, like, guts coming out or something like that.
I
That would
don't-
be
It
insane.
depends how far apart the trees are.
Yeah,
Even though
I
it
also,
says it's close.
I also question the effectiveness of it.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
How hard is it going to?
How
far
strong?
bend
Yeah, how
back.
strong is the human body like back
Yeah.
then?
No,
I was
and
like,
how
are you skinny?
effective it is in the community.
Well, no, like I'm talking about the effectiveness of like fully tearing a body
killing,
apart.
of killing the
Yeah,
guy.
like there would definitely be some like internal damage at the bare minimum. But
unless you're a skinny person, right?
Yeah.
Now hold on, is this punishment meant to kill the offender or just meant to kill the offender?
It's meant to. It's an execution method. So this is like a
corporal
corporal
still
punishment.
exists today?
No. So it was used in ancient times. Again, as a public spectacle, so it also acted as a deterrent, but it was corporal punishment.
Wow.
Damn.
So there's
Big
no human rights, no anything.
No,
Persian Empire doesn't.
No, they just rip people apart with trees.
Yeah.
I feel like a more effective method would have been sawing them in half, but
Okay.
So yeah, damn.
Okay, what's our next one? I think our next one is
The brass
the
bull.
brass bull.
yeah.
So this is where the offender who commits a crime like challenging authority or religious authority or religious person, they get
Stuffed. They get stuffed into
inside the
the
brass
brass bowl, and a fire is put up underneath it.
yeah.
So it's like a slow, painful death.
Yeah.
So once it heats up, you just burn. You can't move. Basically.
Is there a reason why they use the bull though? Like out of all the animals, like why not just like a cow? Why a bull?
Well, bull is a cow. A bull is a male cow. So I mean, like your point would be correct if it was a dog, but
Okay, well, what about other animals though? Like
I don't know. Maybe the bull's just the easiest.
yeah.
Maybe it's the most common one they had.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I believe it was a hollowed sculpture,
Uh-huh.
and funny enough, they put like tubes in it, so like the offender's screams as they were cooking would come out sounding like a bull like mooing.
Mooing.
Well, I don't. What? Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Do
but like, why would it not go like, why moo? Like, so like when
Whatever,
like
whatever the sound they make.
so okay, so like
thing,
when it boils, right? All you hear is moo. Like that's all.
Yeah,
You
like the screams would come out.
Why not like a
deep, like a deep
okay, there you go.
noise, like something that you would expect to hear out of an animal, not a human screaming because they're being cooked alive.
Wow.
And also, the steam from the body cooking inside would release through the nose holes of the bowl. So it became an entertainment thing.
Yeah, I was about to say like they try to like put on a show.
Yeah, it became a whole show.
Oh wow, and like people would like come and see that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And again, imagine if you were the family of that offender. Like, would they get shunned too, or would they be
Yeah,
that's a good question.
excluded
That's a really good question,
from
yeah.
the community?
Yeah, like your son got the brass bowl. You know, we're not talking to you no more.
Well, yeah, no. I think like because like it's like also like for people that are against like certain things, I feel like they will also target their family too.
Yeah.
About it. So
yeah, like let's say it's an act of like religious defiance. You know, could they say like, could they investigate? I mean, it's ancient times. I don't think there's really much of an investigation going on.
Well, it depends.
But they look into your family and their beliefs, and does your family also get it?
Yeah, damn.
It also depends who's ruling at the time. Right?
Yeah.
That's also true. And imagine like the person that like when someone's done cooking in there, like imagine that you're the guy that has to take out the body. That would probably be like mentally like that would be like kind of like messed up, right?
Yeah, the psychological effect of it.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, no, that would be insane.
No, I mean you're getting dinner for the night at least.
Dinner for the night is insane. Yeah, just put some like hot sauce on that.
Yeah.
It tastes just like chicken.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Are modern prison systems more humane or just different from, or just a different form of suffering?
What was the question?
Are modern prison systems more humane? Like the
I
justice system right now, is it more humane, or are we more lenient?
I believe so.
We're more humane, for sure.
Yeah, but I think we're getting a little too much on the lenient side on the aspect, because like we can have this person commit something, but the other person commits the same thing, but one gets the punishment, one walks free.
I think it's like similar to like the bail thing as well, because like there's like a lot of people that that should be in jail right now, but like because they were able to pay it, they don't get a single day in jail, right? Like there's a lot of cases as well, like one that we studied, that like one person murdered another girl after he was out of bail, after he paid off his bail thing. So there's a lot of like big gaps in modern like
The
justice system, right? But it's I would say a lot more better compared to what we were talking about.
Yeah, we treat people more humanely in the sense that we give them respect, and we don't Western societies at least. We treat them more humanely in the sense that we give them like human decency and stuff like that. But also at the same time, it's so humane that it's almost become a luxury for some people too.
Yeah.
Where like, let's say I'm homeless and I'm like, I'm suffering out here in the Canadian winters, you know, no food, no shelter, nothing.
Everything's full.
With how packed they are and everything. You know what? I'm gonna go commit a robbery so that I can at least get a month in jail with a roof over my head. Yeah. And then you know what? I'm like, oh, this is nice. Let me go on to become a repeat offender.
Okay, do we choose that luxury or the Persian Empire system-ish?
Burn the witch.
See, that's
Burn
the
yeah.
choice.
Obviously with human rights and everything,
we choose the human rights. Yeah.
We don't go back to something as extreme as that, but I will say, and I mean, I feel like this is something that a lot of people believe to some extent, that we do need to have a justice system reform.
Exactly.
In the sense that, again, it is a little too lenient.
Yeah.
What is too lenient? How do we measure leniency? Right? Like it always depends on the crime. It always depends on the effect of the crime, of the offender.
Yeah.
How many times they're doing it.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know about you, but I'm thankful for human rights.
No, I'm good. I don't want to be cooked inside of a bowl.
I'd rather not.
No.
Yeah.
No, like is our justice system good in most aspects? I will say yes. It does do a lot for not only the community, but it does also rehabilitate the offenders and stuff like that. But I like in the case of like we're obviously in need of a bail reform. Yeah. People are getting off on bail too easily sometimes.
And then reoffend.
And then reoffend.
Bail again. And
it's just... And it's very like catch and release almost. But like in most cases, I feel like with media and stuff, we're obviously hearing a lot more about, you know, the catch and release and, you know, this person killed someone and got out on bail and stuff like that. Yeah. But it doesn't take in consideration how many people are in the justice system right now, whether that's halfway houses, correctional facilities and stuff like that, who are actually serving the time. I feel like as the public, we also forget that like there is good being done by the system. It just made like as anything, everything needs improvement. Like it's never gonna be perfect. People are always gonna have issues.
Everything's gonna have issues.
That's true.
And I mean, I feel like we'd get in a lot more crap and everything if we were to rip people apart by trees. And I mean, like, I can't speak on like Middle Eastern societies. Yeah. But I can see how they are viewing their justice. And in a sense, it is acting as more of a deterrent than what Western societies are doing. Yeah. You know, like, I'm not going to want to go steal while I'm in Saudi Arabia because I know I'm going to get my hand cut off. You know?
There's some effectivity to
it. I think it's just like, I think it's all based on like how society, like what society you grow up in, right? How what you were taught and everything, because we're taught a lot different here about justice, right? Compared to like back in the 80s, right? 80s, like there were a lot of justice things that were normal then, right? That people think that it was fine, right? If we look back like about our youth laws, right? Back then, like the Juvenile Delinquent Act.
Like they would arrest a kid for smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas like nowadays it's like you get a stern talking to, and we're gonna explain the harms and dangers of this, but we're not gonna go throw you in jail because you were holding a cigarette.
Yeah, and like and that's like the same thing right now in modern times, but like where we live, right? So like our laws are a lot different here compared to like, let's say like Brazil. Brazil's laws are a lot more different, maybe more stricter in certain sections, but not in other sections as well.
Yeah, we became more about restorative and restoration and rehabilitation, which is, I think it's good, because we're not just throwing them off or killing them off, we're putting them into programs on how to be a better person in your community and not just commit crimes after crimes after crimes.
Yeah, that's true, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, they like, and that's what I mean. Like, there is a lot of good aspects to our justice system, but you know, going back to how we used to have the Juvenile Delinquents Act, and now we have like reevaluated that and you know, put in the system and changed the laws and all of that, and how we deal with like young offenders and stuff like that. Like, our systems are always going to be changing and evolving based off of the times, the views, the beliefs of society and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's better. It's better.
Well then, anyways, right? Thank you for joining us, right? I hope you guys learned something about our interesting laws that we talked about, right? And hopefully catch you guys in the next one.
Yay!
Bye-bye.